Hey friends, and welcome for another Fall Soup Friday or Crocktober meal, whichever everybody in this collab is doing. I decided to show you one of the easiest soups that I know how to make. Like literally the easiest. And it is my husband's absolute favorite soup that I make. Like he was asking me, he's like, so what are you gonna film? And I was like, I'm already making it. And he went over to the stove, he saw that it was tomato soup, and he was thrilled because he doesn't like tomato soup from a can. I mentioned before when I made my veggie beef stew that my husband had like some fooded versions, like with slow cooker type meals and stuff like that because of texture from overcooking when he was younger. And so he kind of has the same thing about tomato soup. It just always made him want to throw up. So I actually did a meal plan a long time ago. It was an anti-inflammatory meal plan, and this is my version of what she had on there. It's really healthy. I mean, it's minimal ingredients. You probably already have everything that you need to make this. The batch that I'm showing you is just enough for Brackston and I to have tomato soup and like a sandwich twice for lunch during the week. So like if you wanted to make this for like a dinner size portion for your family, I would suggest doubling it. If you're a really big family, maybe even triple or quadruple it. It is, like I said, it's just enough to make like 4 lunches, maybe even 5 throughout the week. But like I said, so easy. So you're gonna see how easy it is when I go into this now. Before I do that, I do want to mention that anybody can participate in this collaboration. All you have to do is comment down below and I will add your video to the Fall Soup Friday playlist. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Okay friends, here we go. So I have a medium-sized saucepan and I'm going to put in 2 14.8 ounce jars of, I chose to do fire roasted diced tomatoes this time. Usually I just do regular diced tomatoes, but I thought the flavor was going to be really good, so I experimented with that this time. And these are just the Aldi brand. You can use whatever kind. I mean, you could even use whole tomatoes. Really, any kind of canned tomato would be fine. This is a very forgiving soup. I'm also going to add 1 whole onion. This is like a smaller onion in size. I just cut it up into small pieces because I'm going to cook it down with the tomatoes. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of minced garlic here. Once again, I did half a tablespoon. You can do this based on your preference and your family's love or maybe not love for garlic. It just really depends on you. Then next, I'm going to put in some Better Than bouillon. I did the chicken flavor. Beef just really would overpower things. The tomato ends up the chicken allows the tomato flavor to go through. So I ended up doing about a tablespoon and a half of the Better Than bouillon. And then I'm going to add just water into there. I ended up doing 3 cups of water in total, and it's pretty much going to fill this to the brim, and it'll cook down a little bit, not a ton. So that was 2 cups there, and then I'm going to do 1 more cup, and I ended up with the Better Than bouillon. Usually I will pre-mix it, but since this was going to boil, I wasn't super worried about it. I just left it the way it was. You see me here trying to kind of stir it up, and I kind of decide that I'm going to give up because I splashed it on my shirt. And I'm worried that I stained my shirt because I always forget to put my apron on. Does anybody else have that problem? There you go. See me check out the stain and going, I always have this problem. So I'm going to put this on a simmer and get it boiling, and it'll boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. Basically, you want this to simmer so that the onion gets soft. And before I do start it, I am going to add, this is a half teaspoon, so I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. I didn't end up adding any more. That 1 teaspoon was plenty. And then I did do a half of a teaspoon of black pepper. You see those tomato dots there? Ugh. I'm forever doing that with tomato products. Do you have that problem? Because I've always had that problem. So I'm going to stir this up, and I'm going to bring it to a boil and let it boil for about 15 minutes. It really, like I said, it's forgiving, so you could maybe let it go longer. You mainly just want to let that garlic cook in there, and then you want your onions to get soft. So that's really what you're looking for. If your onions get softer earlier, then that's fine. But the longer that you do let this cook, the more that the flavors are going to mingle. So right now you see it at a rolling boil. My onions are getting soft. I'm checking those. I'm noticing that the bouillon has mended together with everything else in there. And I'm deciding that this has cooked long enough. This was right around, it was about 17 or 18 minutes, I think it was. And I'm going to turn my oven off, and I'm going to pour everything in to my blender. Obviously be really careful when you do this. Maybe you do it over the sink. I kind of played it dangerous this time. And then I'm just going to go and I'm going to take the lid, put it on there. I'm going to just puree it in my blender until everything is incorporated. It doesn't take very long. I ended up doing it for about 49 seconds, I think, and then it was ready to go. And once that is done, I'm going to put it back into the saucepan, and I'm going to let it kind of return to a boil, and any excess water or stuff like that will kind of evaporate out. And I also just want to make sure that I have the texture that I'm wanting and the flavor. I ended up not needing this to boil for very long. The texture was good. The flavor was good. I really, really, really like the extra flavor that the fire roasted tomatoes gave it. And like I said, this is literally the easiest soup ever. And it's so much healthier than that Campbell's in a can. No preservatives, all that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously it would be even better if you had used like garden tomatoes and stuff like that. So I let this boil for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then it was done.
So like I said, this is the easiest soup ever. It is so flavorful, and it is just so quick, so easy, so delicious. I love it so much. I don't make it nearly enough. Usually in the fall, I do make it. I do usually keep a batch on hand for me to have in the fridge for Brackston to eat for lunch. He likes to eat lighter for lunch, especially if he had like a heavier breakfast. And some days he doesn't even eat breakfast. So he's complicated. If you're doing like Weight Watchers or Trim Healthy Mama, you know, this falls into very easily those categories. Low carb, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it is so good. Like when I was doing Weight Watchers, I plugged this in and it was like 0 points for the soup. So like I could literally eat the entire saucepan is I guess the word that I want to use. You could eat the entire saucepan and still be at 0 points. So with that being said, thank you for joining, guys. Next Friday is going to be our last Fall Soup Friday, and then I'm going to think of what I want to do for November. Not sure. Leave some comments down below of what you would like to see cooking wise from my channel in November. And yeah, so if you're new here, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and stick around. I do a lot of grocery hauls, and I'm starting to put out more cooking videos now that I'm not sick all the time. And yeah, so I do grocery hauls, I'm doing cooking, and I do like just regular vlogging with my family, and that's me. So thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great day.